Christopher Columbus did it in a boat. Phineas Fogg did it in 80 days. Richard Branson tried to do it in a hot air balloon. But none of them did it with 3 baby boys. Introducing the world's youngest explorers, 11-month-old twin boys, Ollie and Max, and their younger brother, Freddie. Join them and their loving parents, Wilco and Anya Drew, as they set out on their 12-month adventure around the world. Together, they are 4 men and a lady.
We were 2 people happy, traveling around the world, visiting all these places about which we only heard. We got these 3 little passes that'll change our lives for good, and our travel plans continue with a slightly heavier load, and we are 4 men and a lady. Some people think we're crazy, as long as we got each other, we'll be 4 men and a lady. We'll be 4 men and a lady. We'll be 4 men and a lady.
We're in Destin, Florida, and it's time to get up, get you boys dressed, because outside there, after nearly 9 states and 3,000 miles, we've made it to Florida, boys. And take a look where Daddy and Mummy parked last night. Bring it on!
Oh, yummy!
Come and have a look.
Look at that!
Come and have a look.
To many tourists, Florida is mostly about Disneyland and Miami, but this state has so much more to offer. Its waters are so diverse, from the western section on the Gulf of Mexico and eastern side on the Atlantic, its tip pointing down to the Caribbean, and inland a plethora of Great Lakes, springs and marshlands.
Florida is renowned for its alligators, but rather than run into one of them in the wild, we've come here to check out some more domesticated gators.
There are 2 types of alligator in the world, the most famous American ones here and the lesser known Chinese alligators, but both share most of their characteristics identically between them, typically living to over 50 years old.
Feels really quite cold.
Very cold, huh?
Very cold.
What's
very
this guy's
soft.
name?
Al.
Al.
We're talking walking, breathing handbag.
Oh no.
Yes.
Shoes.
The name alligator is actually an anglicised word from the original Spanish el lagarto, meaning lizard.
Well, we've got our souvenir. I held my first alligator. I had a great time, and so did the boys. It's time to move on.
While the east coast beaches of Florida are often built up and crowded with retirees and international holidaymakers, the top section along the Gulf of Mexico has huge stretches of sand that rarely see any people at all, and the water, it's bath warm.
Florida, and arguably one of the easiest parts of our journey with kids. Sand, sea, sun, Mickey Mouse, and alligators. We've only been in the state an hour, and we've nailed the first 3 of those.
With much reluctance, it was time to leave our little piece of paradise in Destin, and arguably the world's best RV parking spot, right on the shore. But we had to press on to our goal, the Atlantic, with just a few planned stop-offs along the way. First off, Tallahassee, Florida's capital.
She got me begging her for more. She got me kicking up a scene. When we publicly disagree.
Even by our standards, Tallahassee was a quick stop, and after a short walk around Florida's pretty little capital, we realised there was probably a pretty good reason why only a few 100,000 of this state's 18 million people live here. So we hopped back on the bus and ploughed on eastwards.
Cause her name
Anya, and possibly the kids, are a bit upset to have left behind the beach in Destin. But for me, beaches, we've seen tons of them. I know it sounds spoilt, but here in North Florida, it's the natural springs that are so different, and I'm really looking forward to seeing. Next stop, Wakulla.
Wakulla is the world's largest and deepest spring, and it has been a favourite relaxation and swimming place for locals here for over 10,000 years. Although it was the native Indians in the very early days, and just since the 1930s, that it has become a more organised vacation spot.
I'd like to welcome you all to Wakulla Springs State Park and Lodge. Thanks a lot for taking this tour with me this morning. What we're going to do is go about 1.5 miles or 2.4 kilometers down the Wakulla River. And if we're very, very lucky and this old boat makes it, about the same distance right back up.
She knows the key to this heart are embedded in a word. Ebb and flow, it goes from me to you. You know it's push and pull. Watch the love grow.
The alligators and the turtles under the water are predators and don't get on at all. But above the water, because they both need the sunshine so much, they relax the rules and both of them leave each other alone.
To you, you know it's push and pull. Watch the love grow.
We've caught some fleeting glimpses of manatees. They're really what I wanted to see today. But every time they come up to the surface, they just duck away. The most beautiful mammals are here in abundance, but it's not our day for spotting them.
Watch the love grow.
We've just come off the boat here at Wakulla Springs. It was a really nice tour, but unfortunately a cold front has come in and it's absolutely freezing. Don't be deceived by the sunshine behind me. Trust me, it's cold. The kids didn't seem to mind so much because they saw so many birds, so many turtles, and we even saw lots of alligators. Enough for a lifetime for me. Ooh. The US is actually split into 4 time zones. The Pacific time zone, which is where we started off in San Francisco. Then the Mountain time zone, the Central time zone. And as we traveled through Tallahassee, we entered the Eastern time zone, which means we've lost another hour and I have to adjust the boys' routine slightly, which is sometimes a bit of a pain because I have to be very sort of subtle about it, just change it slightly. Half an hour here or there later, feeding them, putting them to bed. But But it seems, I mean, the boys have really taken to it quite easily. Occasionally they wake up at 6 in the morning rather than 7 o'clock. But hey, a couple of days of that and then we're back on the old routine.
If ever there was such a thing as a kid's holy grail, that's where we woke up this morning, camping out in Mickey's backyard, ready to spend a few days of total fantasy with our boys. It's Disneyland time.
Monorails, buses, boats, trams, Disney's transport network is something amazing. It's like it's been designed by kids, built by the Germans and run by the friendliest Texans and Australians. If only we could have this on our daily commute, the world would be a better place.
We have bought our own prams, but throughout Disney World you can rent single or even double prams for the whole day. France is going to turn my little boy into a Dalmatian.
The attention to every single detail in the park is astounding. From the performers and their costumes to the rides and even the food stalls. And Cinderella's castle, just like the French chateaus it was inspired by, is truly a masterpiece.
One thing about Disney World is you've got to remember where you put your pram. Just check out how many there are.
So packed with things to do for families and beautifully created with vision, fun and precision. The only hard thing to do with young ones at Disney is to work out what not to do.
Is that your Sony or you're happy to meet me?
We buried our noses in Disney guidebooks and asked numerous of the friendly helpers and devised a very basic day plan, concentrating on just a few age-appropriate rides, trying not to do too much and overwhelm our little ones.
I think it's going to be okay for the boys. We're going to try it out. It doesn't look too scary, and we can control how fast we go around in the cup, so I think we should go. It wasn't as scary as I thought it would be. The boys loved it, and I did too.
The things that's such fun as a grown-up and as a kid is that the iconic Disney rides like this, Dumbo, span generations, and it's as much part of my childhood as it will be part of this guy's childhood.
The original Flying Dumbo ride opened in Disneyland in the 1950s with a mechanical organ from the turn of the last century. And today, the wheels still turn, not just in Florida, but through replicas in all of the world's Disney parks.
Oh, it's so tough getting these kids off these rides. Ollie just wants to stay on there all day long. We have to go, buddy. We are right outside Mickey's house. Let's just pop in and see if anybody's at home.
Mickey Mouse was a great hit with Mum and Dad, who had waited 37 years to meet him. But our boys were just a little more sceptical about making friends with this giant rodent.
Parks and 2 water parks. It makes easy sense at the top level, but then as you scratch down a bit further, you start to understand the enormity and the breadth of this park. We're talking almost 50 square miles of just land. Over 20 hotels, nearly 300 places to get a bite to eat. It really is phenomenal and big. They say that it's a place where dreams can come true, and from a kid's perspective, I can just see faces lit up all over the place, because dreams really are coming true for some kids today, including ours.
Look! No, the princess! It's like you! It's like you!
But what you do with your day on the rides in Disney is just half of the experience, especially for the kids. If you're fortunate enough to be able to stay over, then there is a whole nother chunk of fun and adventure to be had.
To and from Fort Wilderness, use Disney's transportation, but when you're here, rent a cart off them. It's the only way to see this huge piece of land.
Fort Wilderness was our home during our stay, a 700-acre site edged by lovely waters with discreetly separated camping pitches set between beautiful pine and cypress trees. It's like a mini nature retreat full of all the kids and sporting amenities you could ever dream of, right down to Mickey's backyard barbecue.
From the big rides to just the little playgrounds on the corner, everything at Disney is thought through to the last bit of detail. Fishing, trekking, swimming, and here, pony riding. Bring it on. Freddie is clearly our equestrian king. After his first round and terrific performance, the twins did jump on eventually, but they were definitely the more reluctant of the three. This part of the RV and camping ground has got Pioneer Hall just up there, Trails End, Crockett's Tavern. It's also where the boats come in and out and take you to different parts of Disney World. Cheers, Lane.
Cheers.
A night out, just the two of us.
I know, it's quite unbelievable. Well, thanks to our babysitters.
Well, Disney have sorted it out as they always do. Kids' night out, looking after our kids. I hope they're all behaving at home.
I know. Well, they will do. After that day at Magic Kingdom, oh, it was
They're
lovely.
absolutely exhausted. The kids went straight out tonight. It was very funny.
Meeting Mickey and the teacup ride.
You say meeting Mickey with a smile on your face, well, one of them loved it. Ollie was very keen. The other two howled like crazy when they met the big guy.
Oh, and the Small World, It's a Small World ride was lovely.
That was without doubt what they enjoyed the most. I personally, I thought it was the nicest ride and blah. I really loved being on Dumbo because it was iconic and felt part of my early childhood. But they just were absolutely mesmerised by the music, the lights and everything of that.
No, we've been really lucky, and I have to say the RV park is unbelievable.
It's not an RV park. They keep calling it a campground or an RV park. It's got more in common with a Ritz hotel than it has with a
Well, it's got a
RV
swimming
park.
pool, it's got all the
Tennis
facilities you
courts,
need. Yeah.
Horse riding or the pony treks, that was sweet today.
Pony rides were very sweet. Freddie, my little boy, he was strong, he was going for it.
He's going to be the next winner of the Kentucky Derby without question. I've got money on it now.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome to Daytona.
Big beaches and fast cars, that's what Daytona means to most people, and that's just what we were in town to check out. But first, a quick pit stop at Ponce de Leon's 19th century lighthouse.
The wind is absolutely gusting up here. It looks a lot cosier down there in our RV where Mum and the rest of the boys are. There's Mama. "406 steps later, with no casualties, just one very smelly bottom, we're back down to ground.
We're at the Daytona International Speedway. It's the home of NASCAR, and I'm going to see if I can get this RV onto the track. Come on!
There are just two petrol heads in our family, Anya, who loves cars and racing, and Ollie, who spends all day screaming vroom 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 vroom. So Daddy, Freddie and Max got ditched and stayed behind to tidy up the camper van.
You have to do about 95 miles an hour just to stay up there on the super stretch. That's pretty fast for me. This picture gives you a little bit of an idea what real racing day will look like. The atmosphere must be amazing.
On big race days, almost 200,000 fans make their way to the track here to inhale the fumes and batter their eardrums. But most days, it's just a giant museum dedicated to the world of everything fast.
The Daytona Speedway is all about cars and racing. So if you're not into NASCAR, it might not be the destination for you. I personally had a great time. I beat my lap record of 51 seconds. Yes! So watch out, Danica Patrick, I'm coming.
Although Anya didn't manage to get our RV onto the racetrack, Daytona Beach, the original racing circuit of the area, is still open to vehicles of all types, and so straight on we drove.
I'm feeling some really mixed emotions at the moment. 3,500 miles back down a long set of roads, we saw the sun just setting over the Pacific, and at last we've reached our destination, but it's a slightly hollow feeling because I know it's the end of the road for us and time to leave the States and move back on and get on with our normal lives. But we're here, and there she is, the Atlantic. Hiya!
Excited to be here. We got here in one piece, safe and sound and full of memories we'll never ever forget. Max, look, there's England. There, that's your home.
I've been blown away by the friendliness of the Americans, and Americans are always pretty friendly in any case, but really the place that I found them without question the nicest and the most caring of the kids was in Texas.
Yeah.
And then also a little into the deep south. I felt that in California everyone had their own busy lives and agendas, and then latterly in Florida, sure, people are nice and civil and what have you, but they're here. They've retired from big cities, or they've come down here just to chill, and they don't really want to get engaged with kids. But in Texas, they were just really family-loving people.
Yeah. Renewing our wedding vows was big. That was very, very nice. A bit more stressful with 3 kids around. First time around was nice. Second time around was very different but lovely. So Las Vegas was a big memory for me. We had a very good time in Yosemite. I was petrified of the bears. I didn't see any, but I was petrified of them. So what else? No, I'd say Las Vegas is probably my biggest one.
My memories, it is a feeling I got. It was about 3 weeks ago. I woke up one morning and I had like flutters in my heart because I just felt I loved my kids so much. It was really unusual, so I'm not monstrously emotional around them. And it was just having been with them 24/7 for 12 months, not getting up every morning and going to the office. And I just thought, how lucky am I to have really spent, and it's probably the only 12 months in one go that I will ever spend with our kids in such a concentrated block of time. And I just thought, I'm really, really lucky to be able to experience and to do this.
What about your wife?
Yeah, she came too.
Well, I know she came too. I know she came too. What about this? Oh, fluttering. I love my wife so much.
So I do the quick, easy one which says, no, of course, yes, I meant you, love. But I tell you what it is, we've had our fluttering, we've had our times. You know, you and I have been dating for 18 years now.
Yeah.
And married for 9 of them.
No, I've been married for 6 weeks.
Oh yeah, married once for 9 years and married recently for 6 weeks, quite right. But maybe we should introduce each other. This is my wife who got married 6 weeks ago, yeah. And you and I have had our monster bond times, and we continue to have them, but I'd never had them on that level with the kids before.
Okay, I got 3 kids up here for sale. We're going to start the bidding off at $10. Who's going to start the bid at 10? I'll take 9. I'll take 8. I'll take 7. Who's going to start? I got 3. Look at them. They're all varying age. They're wonderful children. Who's going to take $5? I got 5. Now I take 4. 4 to start. I got 3 to start. Anybody want to start this? Would you please just take the children? Just take them. They're free on the house. Bye-bye. I don't know.